Welcome into Summoner's Greed. This is an official review by me, Gacha J, on the actual attributes of Summoner's Greed, if you should consider it. Is it a good game? And what more there is to say about Summoner's Greed as a whole, the future of the game, what I think of the publisher, what I think of the graphics, the story, the progression, gameplay, all of that stuff. So here we have a new account that I just set up. For the sake of this video, I can walk you through all the mechanics that come into place. As you can see, you have this preset area in which you can drop units. You don't drop them on the rocks. The opposing units can actually come in and destroy those rocks to give them new avenues to get to the bottom. This isn't like a traditional tower defense game where a singular, where you have a certain amount of lives, and if they get all those lives, they go. It's one life for the entirety of the level. Here we can see we get our first unit, which is a slimy, which you are guaranteed to get as the first unit. We are going to come in here and we are going to add it right here, and then we are going to start this here level, and then here in a minute we will go ahead and sign in to the account that I have, which got to the end game, while I talk a little bit about how this game plays out, and you can see the beginning of it. And then as this review is finished out, I will show you some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of this game. Graphics wise, honestly, what you see right here is the entirety of the game. It's very cutesy, it's very simplistic. A lot of the heroes are very interesting. There's a couple of really cool designs behind these heroes. The legendaries themselves are very unique. A lot of these earlier units that you get are your more traditional style of tower defense heroes. And overall, I would say that graphics wise, I mean, it's not even average. I think the art style is pretty good. Oh no. And then it'll introduce us into the next area, which is about gameplay and things of that sort. As you can see, the gameplay plays out exactly as it is here. It is very much a solved game. You have your skills that you want to use and things of that nature. You can get a fireball, a freeze, and a lightning. And then you also can have more control in between battles of what goes on. The game lets you summon a lot, as you can see here as we get into our second role. This one is this Mocha. There's also another dog called Capucho or something like that. Pretty interesting. This one just does a ton of attack. The other one actually gives you a freeze. So this is how you would see the game as it is. As you can see to the top left there is all of these offers. The only things in terms of payment that I think are even close to relevant is buying the 2x speed and then buying the here, I'll go ahead and let it die. As you can see here, it's going to let it die out, and oh no, we can let one unit go through. They got our treasure. So there are a couple things that you would buy. I did give it a little bit of money to see what the end game looked like and things of that nature. So we're going to try again here. Every time it fails, you get a new thing, but I'm going to go ahead and sign in to my existing account. All right. And here we have our completely solved version of the game. So overall, I would say that the graphics in this game are a little subpar to the Gacha standard. They're very cutesy. There's just not much going on here. There's not a lot of interesting animations. The game really is there to try to get you to summon as much as possible, potentially to buy existing units, to come in here and to buy things like this 2x that you see that I have bought. I also bought something that gives you double the rewards for watching an ad. That is one thing that this game does in their monetization cycle, is they very much reward you for watching an advertisement. Probably the best rewards I've ever seen for a game like this. Like, they literally give you 100% more power. They'll give you 100% more attack power. They'll give you 100% more gold output. Like, they really reward you for watching an ad, and this entire game kind of breaks down into an advertisement, but it's fun enough. Like, see here, we watch a video, and I bought the 2 times ad revenue for, I think it was like $5, or well, I guess it is 2 times ad revenue. They got a lot more ad revenue out of me than they would otherwise. And you get 2 times the gold times the 2 times that I bought, so it's up to 4 times the gold output, which is really nice. And then you can actually go into the game itself here, and you can see at the top that I saved, and I got double the gold there as well. So there's a lot going on, and so some tips and tricks. So as you can see, I did buy a couple of the items. I don't know if it'll show it all the way at the bottom. It looks like it removed. Oh, here it is. Double the speed. I did buy double the speed there. It was $1. And then there was another one that doesn't appear to be in the shop at all for the double the rewards from ads. cents, which I believe was $5. So I spent $6 on this game, and it got all the way to the point to where I have beaten it completely. For the actual progression system, you can see that these green gems right here, you can do 10 of them to summon a common or above, 30 of them rare or above, or 60 of them for epic and above, or 60 of the purple for epic and above. I'll go ahead and tell you that the best thing to do in this game is to summon these commons or above and just keep spamming it like this. You'll get a ton of them. Never buy the rare or above, and then never buy the epic or above there. There's so many things to actually use the purples on that you can get through these quests here for it to not even be relevant to roll on that. And once you can get to the final map, which if you go into settings here and you go to map select, you'll see that there's 3 different maps and then 2 different challenge maps. These challenges are actually kind of fun. I'll mention that. I know this review is a little bit of everywhere, but I'm just going through the game. The master challenge down here is actually my favorite. It's kind of like a roguelike version of the game, but you'll start out on the king level 1 here, and the king will take you the longest to get through of any of the cycles. It's normal level 1. Basically what I recommend you to do if you're a new player is to come in here and set a team. Like this will be basically how you start out, like this, and hit confirm. You'll set a new team up and just let it go as far as you can, and then it'll fail. Just start it up again. Only restart the levels when you actually feel like you could beat it if you get the bonus that it gives you. But most of the time, you're really just waiting until you have enough rolls to roll for something meaningful. And all you really have to do to clear the entire game is to do something like this. You're going to keep rolling over and over and over again until you get either a teddy here, or I use the Infernus, which is this guy right here. And then you're going to load up both sides of it with your power-ups, your speedy and your mighty. I believe these are the actual levels that I needed to beat the entirety of the game up till chapter 3. And chapter 3, or so all of chapter 1 and chapter 2, not the hard modes like this. You just need to spend all of your gold on these 3 units, and they will power through everything. As you can see, advertisements come up to you very often. They time themselves out, which is good, so you can just completely step away from your phone completely and come back later and see how far you got. But really, it is an idle game through and through, but it needs to be turned on for it to be doing the simulations. As you can see here, you can't add new things, or you can't change the order of things in the middle of it. But if you don't have the whole thing set up here, and then you roll a new unit you want to place and you have an open spot, you can place it then. But essentially, this is all you need to do to beat the game, is work on 3 units, Teddy or Infernus, in my opinion, until they can get to the last stage, and to map select here, the joint revenge. And then when you get here, you will see that you can no longer complete literally everything in the game. You'll probably get to like wave 3 or 4-ish and just keep restarting, because as you can see, we already get a boss wave 1. We're getting double the gold that we would on other stages. And every time we get these bosses, it means that we get green or purple shards that lets you roll quicker. And so that means you can get the legendary pieces even quicker than that. And then essentially all you have to do at that point is you have to beat the joint revenge 1, and then place the unit that it gives you for beating it. Where is it? Yes, the king slam here. And then you place your mighty and your speedy right next to it. And now you've beaten the entire game. Just use all of your gold to keep leveling it up as much as you possibly can, and he will do several billion damage. You go from doing about a couple hundred damage at peak, maybe upwards to like 22k for Infernus. I don't know what the numbers you guys saw earlier are, but now we're doing like 3 billion per hit, and we can even get that higher because Mighty can scale all the way up to 400, and we have it at 170. It's already doing a 1500% increase to his current 15 million attack damage, or 150 million attack damage. So that's why we're getting up into the billions, and everything will just continue to be shredded. You can walk away, come back and roll as much as you want, and then there you go, the game is solved. So yeah, that is basically how you beat the game. That is how you play the game. And let's run through the overall statistics of how I broke this game down. I've talked about it a little bit as we went through it. I know I did a really bad job of staying on focus this time, but I'm trying to do a more holistic guide and review for this game all at the same time, just because it's not a game that I think a ton of people will be interested in or currently interested in. So anyways, breakdown. Graphics, I have it at a 4 out of 5. I think that it's cutesy. I think that it's fine. I don't think that there's anything ridiculous here. You're never going to get anybody to sign up for it just because of the graphics. There is literally zero story to it. So I have it at a 0 for that as well. Progression, I have it at a 7. I mean, that's entirely what you're here for, is the progression system in the game. It is incredibly fun to level up your units, to roll for new units, to do a ton of rolls in that way. The gameplay is at a 5. I mean, it's through and through just a tower defense game. It is kind of fun to do as many rolls as they give you. And if you're someone like me that's a gacha purist that just loves gacha games and doing all the pools and the stuff of that, it really gives you that content cycle that you're looking for as someone that's just looking for a casual play, and get no qualms about it. That's what this is. This is a casual play. Uniqueness and monetization, I have both of them at a 4. There's nothing overwhelmingly unique here. It does feel like its own game, so it does get some props for that, but they're not bringing anything really new to the table. And then for monetization, I've kind of gone through it. It's kind of just a gigantic ad bot. It's trying to service ads to you, and then if you decide to give it money, the quality of life features that you get for the money are definitely worth it if you decide to invest in this game at all. And they're trying to get you with these ridiculous package deals that are very much not worth it, because you can get everything in the game at the end basically anytime that you want. So for monetization, I do have it at a 4, because I think that you don't need to pay them a dime and you'll beat the entire game. You can get literally every unit, but it's also pretty predatory in the way that it monetizes things. So it went from like what would have been like an 8 to a 4 just based off the way that they monetized it. And then community, this game really does not have a community. The subreddit is dead. The Facebook is dead. I will give props to their social media manager though. That dude deserves a raise and he deserves to get hired by a better company. The advertisements this game puts out are what actually drew me to it. It was hilarious. It was honest. I do actually just go to their Facebook to look at their latest advertisements, because I find the memes that they make to be hilarious, but there's like no interactions past that. So all in all, guys, this game gets a 3.71. It is one of the lowest games I have ever reviewed. But in all honesty, if you want to play it for a week, I think you'd enjoy it. But there's no longevity to this game. It is a solved game. Basically, the entire tips that I gave you is the entire content cycle of the game. That is the quickest way I've found out to get through it. That makes sense to get through it. So you can just kind of, as you can see here, we've already gotten up to 8 more rolls just in the time of this video. So if you want a roll cycle and you want a game that just rolls and get the legendaries and maximize your legendaries and the dupes and stuff like that, hey, maybe this game's for you. But all in all, guys, this isn't a game I would recommend to anybody that is looking for anything more than wasting time. If you're someone that's looking to just have some fun at work while the game's put on idle, you could come back and make some decisions every once in a while. Honestly, this game might be something that you would enjoy. But for the most of the people on this channel, this game is a hard pass. So guys, thanks for checking it out. See you soon.